what's up? Session 2 is in the books. The finals are set. We knew it's like, you know it's going to be epic. You just don't know the reasons it's going to be epic. And then it was epic. Mm-hmm. It was dramatic, contentious, a lot of tension in the air. We'll go weight by weight through this, everything we just saw, and then we'll get into the tension. We'll get into the drama. We'll get into who's wrestling in the best 2 out of 3 finals tomorrow for all of freestyle wrestling, starting at 57 kilograms, men's freestyle. Spencer Lee jumps out to an 8-0 lead, I think, against Zane Richards. He was up pretty big, and then kind of comes back. Zane Richards sort of comes back a little in the second, then it's a 13-6. It kind of, Zane would get close, and then Spencer would score. And
I think he was up 9-0 at one point.
Yeah,
he got that push out right before the end of the period.
Tyler's right. That's why I need his help, and I'm glad he's here because it was 9-0 at the break. He did get that step out. So Spencer looks really good. Zane Richards was on the world team. He beat Thomas Gilman 2 times last year. And speaking of Thomas Gilman, he looked outstanding against Dayton Fix.
So good.
6-0 win, strong, good energy throughout. Got to a leg and scored. Kind of did it all.
That's 2 guys who have battled for the 57 kg spot in the past, too.
Yes.
So it's not like Dayton, that's all I have to say.
Yeah, that was the point. They wrestled 2018 and 2019 Final X. It was Gilman winning in 18, Dayton Fix in 19, and this was the rematch here. And so we're going to have Thomas Gilman, Spencer Lee. A lot has been made of this matchup. This matchup has been discussed since Spencer got to Iowa, and then it really picked up when Thomas Gilman left Iowa for the Nittany Lion Wrestling Club. There's a lot of respect on both sides. Thomas Gilman was super respectful of Spencer in his post-match interview. And so now it's going to go down. And tomorrow they'll do the first 2 rounds of that 2 out of 3 for 57 kilograms. So that could be decided in session 3 tomorrow morning, which starts at 10 a.m. Eastern.
And this is the match that everyone wanted coming into this tournament. Like, you come into this tournament, besides Dake Burrows, it's like Spencer Lee, Thomas Gilman, everyone wanted to see it, and we finally get to.
Spencer Lee's been all high crotch pretty much for his primary leg attack. I'm wondering if that's going to be an effective strategy. The tactics are going to be so interesting for that matchup. We'll go to 65. Great day for Nittany Lion Wrestling fans as 2 Penn State alums and Nittany Lion Wrestling Club guys are going to be wrestling for the 65 kilogram spot. Not yet qualified, just like 57. Top side, it was Nick Lee putting up major points against Andrew Alirez, which to me was the surprising thing, because if you look at Andrew Alirez, he's not a guy that gives up a lot of points, and Nick Lee scored 11 on him. And it started off 4 for Andrew Alirez, and then before you knew it, Nick Lee tied at 4-4 criteria, whatever. And then eventually just kind of pulled away and won 11-6. It's just really impressive. And I tweeted this, but man, you think about the Elite 65s that Nick Lee has turned from top. It's like he turned Yanni last year. He turned Andrew Alirez. His gut wrench is great, and he had a gut in his previous match too. So, man, he's really tough on top, and he's going to have to be tough tomorrow because he's taking on Zane Rutherford, who took out Jesse Mendez. Mendez got that quick go behind first. I was like, is this?
I literally was like, oh my God, Jesse Mendez just took down Zane Rutherford.
Your mind goes crazy when you see something. I was like, Jesse's gonna kill him. It's like, what's happening? I was like, I couldn't believe how he took him down.
Well, I didn't think, I was like, okay, well, it was at the very beginning of the match. How long can Jesse keep up with Zane? But I was thinking, as I kept watching, I was like, maybe he can get more go-behinds. Like, that seemed like the takedown for him to get on Zane.
He is unreal with go-behinds. I mean, that's his best position for sure. And he was able, Zane, great tactics, was able to get a takedown, and then another one to win 3-2. Mendez just didn't have a lot of answers. He wasn't really able to get to the legs like he was in his previous match. But I want to talk about Jesse Mendez's path. What he would have had to do to make it to 2 out of 3. He would have had to beat Joy McKenna.
Which he did.
James Green.
Which he did.
And, Yanni Diakomahalis.
Which he did.
And Zane Rutherford.
Which
just to get to the 2 out of 3. Yeah. That is a stupid path. I don't know if they're doing this like sit out thing right with this by the semi. I'm glad that they do it, but I don't think they're putting it in the right spot.
Right.
Because it doesn't seem like some person should have 2 matches, the other person have 4. I don't know. It's late. But that was weird.
Yeah, it is 11:30 p.m.
It's 11:30. This went forever. It will be, what day is it today? It will be Saturday before you watch this video.
Yes.
Unless you're in like Westland, Oregon. Shout out Chael Sonnen. But so Nick Lee versus Zane Rutherford, 65.
It set up a really cool moment. They both won their matches at like almost the exact same time, and Nick Lee just points at Zane's like, yes, Zane! Like, because there was a challenge going on for Nick's match.
Yeah.
And Zane won like while he was waiting for the challenge, and they both just kind of like pointed at each other, and they were really pumped to their teammates to get to wrestle each other best 2 out of 3 to make the Olympic team. So.
And that's kind of a running theme here, the Nittany Lion versus Nittany Lion. You know, Gilman's Nittany Lion. And now we've got 2 Nittany Lions at 65, 2 Nittany Lions at 74 and 86. So let's get to 74. Oh my gosh. Do we have to get into this? This was crazy. Nothing but drama. The Mitchell mess. I already did a video about the Mitchell Jordan thing. I'll kick it to Tyler if you want to put a thought out there. If you don't.
About Mitchell and Jordan?
Yeah, if you want to talk about that. You don't have to.
I think my overall thoughts are I hesitate to say this because Penn State fans, great wrestling fans, you know, but I was a little disappointed with how they treated Jordan Burroughs in that venue. But yeah, I don't know. I don't think that's controversial. I think a lot of people might feel that way, people watching from the outside in. Yeah. But I think that also Jordan acted in a way that you don't expect him to.
Yeah,
you know?
I think that's fair. So for the Mitchell thing, my summation, if you didn't see that video, is the refs let it get out of control. Mitchell's a guy looking for the line. You tell me where the line is, and I'll keep pushing the line. If the line's here, then I'll step to there. And if it's here, I'll step to there. And he just kept stepping until Jordan had to intervene and say, no more.
Yeah.
You're a habitual line stepper, Mitchell. No more. Boom. Head shove. I was like, they might DQ him. And then I'm wondering.
Because they blew the whistle and Mitchell stayed on his ankles for like way too long.
Way too long.
Yeah.
And it's like, yeah. So, you know, habitual line stepper. All love on both sides, really. I feel like, yeah, Mitchell was doing his thing. And Jordan did his thing and retaliated. And it's really,
I think it's great.
If you have beef with the situation, I think it's with the refs. I honestly do believe that. But I think that moment sort of turned it even more, the vitriol towards Jordan Burroughs to an extent. Because
from this crowd, for sure.
For sure. So Nolf wins in the final against JQ, sets up Burroughs versus Nolf, Jordan's 3rd straight Nittany Lion, and Nolf gets one early, and then it's 1-0 at the break. And they go to center, and you think, okay, well, Jordan's a guy who can kind of let things sort of develop, and then he's crafting a plan for that second period, and then right off the whistle, hard double from Nolf, takes Jordan down, and then you're like, oh, snap.
It was a Jordan Burroughs double on Jordan Burroughs. Like it.
Yeah.
Have you ever seen Jason Nolf take a blast double off the whistle like that?
He's got. I don't know off the whistle. He's fired. Yeah, but
I mean, obviously
not on Jordan.
Yeah. No. Yeah.
I mean, and so then it was 3-0, and then it was, you know, I think Nolf played it perfectly afterwards, and really Jordan just didn't have answers beyond that. Nolf played the edge.
I was surprised. There was a table ref that kept wanting the call for passivity in the second period on Nolf.
Yeah.
I was a little surprised there wasn't any call for passivity. But yeah, I think Nolf wrestled the match perfect.
He played it perfectly, and even if that one happens, it's like, man, Jordan wasn't close to a takedown. And then, so he wins, Nolf wins. It's Nolf versus Dake. And then you're like, all eyes are on Jordan, because they're like, is he going to take his shoes off?
Yeah.
And he didn't even take a beat.
He just left.
You know, he pulled down his straps and walked off. And it's loud for Jason, but there's no negativity coming towards Jordan till he gets to the tunnel. And I'll say this, get to the tunnel, I'm like sort of behind Jordan, and I'm watching this, they're coming to the feet, I'm like, oh, this will be a cool moment. And then next thing I know, I see Manning and Jordan giving it to people in the crowd, and there's someone screaming that your career's over, just like screaming repeatedly, your career's over, career's over. It's like, man, it's tough because it's like, it's one person. Yeah. It was just a couple people. But it's like, man, you just don't want Jordan to go out like and have to.
He deserves better than that.
Endure that, right? Yeah. Like, you should cheer for Jason Nolf, and
you should applaud Jordan Burroughs.
Yeah, but it's like, man, since 2011, this guy has been busting his butt. And I think it a little bit goes back to the Mess and Brink match and how that materialized and taking exception. And I've always said, fans should feel excited to have passion and pick their sides. But man, harassing Jordan Burroughs after his last match, putting that salt in the wound. Do you think? I just think that is just a classist move by a fan or two. And I wouldn't, if you, here's the thing. So like maybe my thought here is wrong, but like if Jordan just walks through and just like doesn't say anything, maybe I'm like, what a jerk that person is, but it doesn't bother jerk. But to see that get to Manning's a freaking pit bull, especially for his guys, and he was giving it to him. And then you're like, man, it was just ugly.
It just sucks.
It's just ugly, and
it really sucks.
yeah.
I saw a comment or a tweet somewhere. Someone said that if you're happy for Jason Nolf's success, you should thank Jordan Burroughs for leading the charge to kind of take USA Wrestling from where it was to where it is now.
100%.
And that's how I feel as well.
Y'all don't remember a lot. And I say this, I'm not trying to sound like an old man because he always says I'm old. But 2011 was a really different time for wrestling in America. It was different. We were not this good, not even close. And you could say, all right, it's not all Jordan Burroughs. He was a big part of bringing American wrestling back, and now we're the dominant superpower in wrestling. And it, we don't know what Jordan's future plans are. He has said, 2024 Olympic trials, that's it. But shoes were not removed, and we're waiting to hear back from Jordan. And if he gets any availability, we'll happily share that with you.
I said on FRL on Monday or Wednesday, I said I'd be happy to see anyone win this bracket, but I would be most sad to see Jordan lose.
Yeah,
and
it is
I started wrestling in 2012.
Wow.
You know what happened in 2012? Jordan won his first Olympic title. So
yes, he did.
You're old, you don't get it, but us young guys, we get it.
Wait,
we
but you get it more than me now?
Yeah, I get it more.
Okay.
Well, I guess that is a little. We get it in different ways.
It's a generational thing with him.
Grew up with it.
86 kilograms. What the heck happened? Aaron Brooks takes out Daringer. Daringer, big four, dumps to his back. You're like, oh my gosh.
Yeah.
And then
I said it was gonna be a thing.
you said it.
You kind of brushed me off. You said.
I said.
And I said it's gonna be a thing.
I actually was not that dismissive. I said it'll be competitive.
You were like, eh.
I said yes, Tyler.
I'm gonna
yes,
pull the receipts.
yes.
No, I won't. It's too late to do that.
Yeah. And also, it was in a conversation, so it's not even possible.
Whatever.
And then the pivotal moment of the match was Aaron Brooks single leg in the second period, and then kind of, what do you call it? Just kind of cracks him back.
Honestly, I was working. I didn't get to see.
Okay, he was working. I wasn't working.
I was doing other media
so he
work.
cracks him back, and Daringer does land on his back. But if you watch, in the moment, I'm like, that's four for Aaron, no question. And the brick comes from Coach Bourmet, and then you see the replay, and it's kind of like Brooks gets it up in the air, but it's sort of Daringer that initiated this. So then I was like, oh, will they change it? They didn't change it. And, in reality, probably the right call. So that sets up the Zahid Valencia versus Aaron Brooks matchup, which was, as the kids say, a movie. That's what they say, a film. And so, how did it even start? It's a slow start. And I thought Aaron Brooks was just like, he was very square, hand fight pulling, not really many attacks. It was 1-0 Zahid at the break. And then whistle blows. And it's that classic, like Aaron Brooks, he's moving. He's clearly on the offense. A flip had switched, and it was starting to trend his way, and he gets into the lead. And then Zahid Valencia, big double, runs his feet, plants him for four.
Out of bounds.
Out of bounds. But you can do that. There's continuation. Yeah. We've all seen the Kyle Dake, David Taylor double leg, where he runs from mat 3 to mat 1 and puts him in there.
I wasn't saying that it was wrong. I was just saying it was awesome.
It's notable.
He took him out of bounds.
Well, you need to mention it because the brick comes. He lands flat on his back, right? And so there's a brick, and to me, I was like, bad brick, because it just looked clear. 4 to me, continuation, landed in danger. They throw the brick. Challenge failed. 1 more point for Zahid Valencia. And so now Zahid gets to 6, which means Aaron has to now get to 7. He needed 2 takedowns at that point. And it was like a minute or so to go, or a minute and a half. And
6-3 now.
Yeah. And it's 6-3. There's like a minute and a half, and then the seconds are ticking. And then Aaron starts getting it going. He starts getting his scores.
Let me ask you this.
Inquire.
I saw the score, 6-3, with like a minute and 54 seconds to go.
Yes.
Zahid is winning.
Uh-huh.
I thought to myself almost, I don't know if Zahid wants to be here. against Aaron.
Like
yeah.
you don't want him sprinting at you.
Like,
You kind of want to steal it later.
I think if you're Zahid, you want to be down by like a point with 30 seconds to go or a minute to go, and try to storm back on Aaron. I don't know if
I
think Aaron Brooks is not the guy you want to be up on with 2 minutes to go.
Well,
am I crazy for thinking
you're
that?
a little crazy. Well, Zahid's MO is not to run guys down late either.
Fair.
So, but maybe. I mean, hindsight. But the thing is, I would have said, and I thought at the time, I was like, there's a lot of time. I think Aaron's can still come back. I'm not ruling this for Zahid yet. But then it ticked and it ticked and it ticked and he's not getting it and he's not getting it. And so I think
there's like 15 seconds left.
Yeah. So Aaron gets a takedown. He gets it to 6-5. Okay. But remember, he has to get to 7. Then he gets a step out. It's 6-6 and there's like 15 seconds to go. And then
not even. I think there's like 7. There's 6 seconds to go when they started again. Remember? Oh
no. That was after the challenge.
Okay.
So 15 to go. Boom. And there's a little flurry. And then the ref very demonstrably, whoa, throws out the caution in 1. He's like grabbing his shirt. So he indicates a singlet grab. Okay. So brick comes from Coach Jones' corner for Zahid. Zahid takes the brick. He's like, no. He tosses it back with 7 seconds to go, and now no one that is watching the match, and I'm like, did you see anything? Did you see anything? I didn't see it. So when Zahid threw it back, I was like, it felt like an admission, right? Like, this is not good. This is not going to go my way.
Yeah.
Because even if with a failed challenge, I think he still needed a takedown. Anyways.
He would need a takedown?
I think so.
No, he had the 4, so I think he just needed the push-up.
But it'd have been 8-6 with a failed challenge.
Oh, you're saying with a failed challenge.
So if it's failed, then, problem. So I think that's why he wanted to kick it back. But if you didn't do it, then one thing. So we go back and pull up the Peacock. That took about a half hour, but we were able to track it down. And there's a little...
It's like his thumb caught the outside of
it was Zahid's left hand, so kind of caught the singlet. And you see the singlet come out. So now, we didn't know that much about the rules with singlet grabs, the exact... But we learned last year at Final X with the Burroughs-Marsteller fiasco that it's a defensive leg foul is almost always a caution in 1, whereas offensive or whatever or incidental can be an intention.
Yeah.
And so this is to me not defensive because they're literally just standing up. Now you could say situation says it's defensive because Aaron has to score and Zahid doesn't, but I don't know if that's how it works. I don't know if it's because it was so late in the match that they have to go caution in 1. Man, I think it's a scenario that's going to be talked about for a long time. But my point in bringing that up is it shouldn't have come down to a singlet grab if you don't throw a bad brick in off that 4. So you don't throw the brick, then it's a different scenario. And it almost bit Aaron Brooks, but he got it done late. And who's to say he wouldn't have got a step out in that 15-minute sprint? Zahid was tired. So that's 86. Oh. 97 kilograms.
Zahid was tired, but he looked better than he did last time they wrestled at Final X. I was really impressed.
They never wrestled at Final X, but when they wrestled at the U.S. Open.
U.S. Open.
Yeah, I agree.
Shut up, dude.
I agree with that. No, you're close.
I was really impressed with how he was wrestling in the second period because at the U.S. Open, he almost he kind of just omitted. He was like, all right, I'm losing this match.
Yeah,
and this one, it was it felt like he really thought he was going to win that match. And
the position he was so good in was he would shoot, and last time, Aaron got the ankle and was able to counter score, and then he got a lace, I think. And then every time Aaron would go to the ankle, he would be able to square up and get his ankle away, which is, if you watch Aaron Brooks, once he gets that ankle lifted, he's able to run behind every time.
Yeah.
So that sets up a rematch from last year's Final X, David Taylor versus Aaron Brooks. Aaron it's 11:30 right now. Aaron is for sure cutting weight.
Yeah.
And he has to weigh in at 8 o'clock and then wrestle at 10. This schedule's terrible. Yeah. I mean, it's not good for the athletes. When's he sleeping? When's it? Here nor there.
Yeah.
That's not right, though. 97 kilograms, Isaac Trumbull.
Yeah.
Ladies and gentlemen, Isaac Trumbull.
We've been saying Jaden Snyder next topic for a while.
Yeah. And that wasn't even close to what happened. Jaden lost to Colin Moore, retired. Mm-hmm. Congrats to Jaden Cox, incredible career. He loses to Colin Moore, and you're like, okay, Colin Moore's time. Not only did he lose, Isaac Trumbull teched him 11-1. He's just like ridiculous. He Olympic redshirted this year, and we were watching his previous match. We're like, dude, Trumbull looks really good, but we're not like saying like, oh, maybe he's just gonna go on a run here.
Yeah.
But we did make mention of his really competitive match that he had with Jaden at U.S. Open last year, so it's kind of notable. But so it's Isaac Trumbull versus Kyle Snyder. Snyder, another Nittany Lion wrestling club athlete. He's gonna be a huge favorite in that matchup. And then 125, Hayden Zillmer takes out Nick Wisdowski. And
so let me ask you this. You have something to say? You have something to say?
yeah,
So, okay, go ahead. Sorry.
Hayden Zillmer proved me a little wrongy because I was like, this guy, he's all hurt and stuff and like missed some time. And, you know, you got Greg Kerfley, you got Nick Wisdowski, you got the great American hero Wyatt Hendrickson. I don't know, man. And you know what? That's why they wrestle matches, man. That's why they say. That's why that's a real saying. And freaking, he got it done. It was a 5-1 win. He got it done late. A late exchange kind of made it happen for Zillmer. And so now he is in the best 2 out of 3 against someone you hate, Mason Paris.
I love Mason. So this is my question about the Zillmer-Gwiz match. I was in the back doing some photo stuff, and I happened to look up at the screen, and it's 1-1. It's on the scoreboard. It said that Gwiz had criteria, but I'm watching him chase Zillmer down. Was that wrong on the scoreboard?
I don't know.
I watched him chase Zillmer down, and then Zillmer scored off that exchange, and it just kind of confused me. I was like, why would he be chasing him if he was winning?
It wasn't super late. It wasn't like super late. It was like second
It was like
period.
45 seconds left.
No,
Zillmer scored late for the win.
So Gwiz did have criteria 1-1. I think it was like a little flurry, and then
It was a flurry where Gwiz was about to score, and Zillmer did some crafty stuff where he like sat up and ended up
it was crazy.
taking him down.
So that's how that happened. Mason Paris versus Hayden Zillmer. That's what's going down. For 125, all right, let's keep it rolling. Is everything still recording, right? We're still recording?
Yeah, we're still good.
Okay.
We're still recording.
Man, we're still out here. What time is it?
If you're still watching right now,
Shout out to you.
leave a comment.
I hope leave a comment. If you're watching right now.
What should they say?
Say, I don't know.
You took too
I'm
long.
out of creativity.
Just comment CP doesn't know.
CP's tired. Say CP's tired.
All right.
But bring in the heat. 50 kilograms, high school senior. Are you kidding me? Audrey Jimenez. So much talk of high schoolers, and Audrey makes it to the Olympic trials finals. She'll be taking on Sarah Hildebrandt. And I'll tell you what, Sage Mortimer gave Audrey a really competitive match. She was up 4-0. Audrey had to dig deep there, but her leg attacks are so precise. She's great with turns and her leg lace, and 10-6 final for Audrey Jimenez. And I'm curious, has she made up the gap a little bit? I can't help but think her giving up that many points to Sage Mortimer, man, you can make mistakes in some matches. Sarah Hildebrandt is not the wrestler you can make a lot of mistakes against.
Yeah,
But man, so excited. I mean, Audrey, before that, in this evening session, 10-0'd Aaron Golston, who has been on the ladder for a long time. Really tough wrestler there at 50. So as we move on to 53 kilograms, it was Haley Aguela, who I'm not sure how long she was retired, but it was definitely like years. And then she comes back, and senior national, she didn't win senior national.
She took like fourth or fifth
She
or
qualified. You know, she got qualified, and you're like, probably not. She's in the finals. She's in the finals against Don Parrish, and you can't rule her out as our Olympian at all. At all. I mean, she beat Katie Gomez 4-1, and then Villas Cusa 3-0. They're close-ish, 5-1, 4-1, 3-0, but they're well in hand for her. And man, congratulations to Haley. It's quite a story to see someone going from that to, hey, let me give it a shot, and then she looks awesome. So congrats to Haley Aguela at 53, and then we'll go 57 kilograms. Alex Hedrick had quite a run. Took out Moda Pettis in that semi, which I thought, XMP as we call her for brevity, was up like 3-0. And then Hedrick just went nuts, got a takedown, and just gutted until they stopped the match, 14-3. So that kind of was like sort of eye-opening. And then Hedrick gave Jakara Winchester a really tough match. And Jakara was like, I said, I think on the last video, she's a big favorite here, but it was really tight, and to the point where I don't think Hedrick had criteria late, but they were in like upper body and inside trips, and it was dicey late, but Jakara gets it done, a 4-2 winner, setting up the match against Helen Maroulis. Helen versus Jakara, it's what we thought was gonna happen, and excited for that one. That's a pretty star-studded. I mean, Jakara's a world champion in her own right, but Helen, and she gets a medal basically every time she enters. She's an Olympic champion, multiple world champion. As good as we've ever had in the US of A. And then we move on to 62 kilograms, loaded weight class, incredible conclusion between Macy Kilty and Jennifer Page. It was like 6-6, I think, late in the match. And there's an exchange, and Jennifer Page gets a 2, and then somehow Kilty is able to come around for a 2 of her own and a 1, and then comes out on top. And I think the way I saw it, I thought Page was first, but I think they went Kilty, then Page, and then a reversal for Kilty to give her the 9-8 advantage super late in that match, like literally 3 seconds to go. It was a crazy finish, and both of them have incredible accolades. Won medals last year, and they're wrestling in the Challenge Tournament finals just to get to Kayla Miracle, who's just got her feet kicked up, and she's ready to rock and roll for tomorrow, no doubt about it. Of course, all these weights are qualified for women's freestyle, which is incredible. And
awesome.
Good job. A less stressful couple months here for Coach Steiner, knowing that. So Macy Kilty taking on Kayla Miracle. She's beaten Kayla in the past. The 2 out of 3 has been the thing she hasn't been able to get past against Kayla. Okay, so that'll be tomorrow, 68 kilograms. Forrest Molinari, super late win against Alice Glaude. Glaude is so tough to score on. She's really compact, powerful wrestler, and it was a late, probably last 30-ish second step out for Molinari, punching her ticket to the finals, where she is going to have her hands full against the USA Wrestling Women's Wrestler of the Year, Amit Allure. She waits in the finals at 68 kilograms, but Molinari is so seasoned, well-trained, going to be an exciting best 2 out of 3.
We'll see if the weight is a factor for me domestically.
Yeah, that is absolutely notable. And then we go to 76 kilograms. Kennedy Blades is on an absolute warpath.
She looks so good.
I'll just read these scores. 11-0, 11-1, and 11-0. Kennedy, what happened in the 11-1 match? What's going on? Giving up point? Point. Like I said that? I thought you might like that.
That's pretty funny, yeah.
Thank you. You'll probably edit that out. Setting up the rematch against Adeline Gray, who she teched and then lost to twice at Final X. So there's no question to me that Kennedy's good enough to do it. The question is, can she put it all together? Can she beat a legend out? How much is it, like, you're talking about being 12, and imagine you were wrestling Jordan Burroughs right now. Imagine if you were 8, imagine if you were 7 years younger wrestling Jordan Burroughs. That's kind of like what Kennedy's going through right now. Because Adeline is in many ways the Jordan Burroughs. Adeline Gray is one of the winningest in USA history. So, man, that's going to be an epic one as well at 76 kilograms. And we have to stop talking because we have to get this video up. So thank you for watching, and we'll see you tomorrow. Goodbye.
Oh, I don't get to say
anything. I'm trying to say something. Just kidding. No. You can have the last word. See, he just wanted to do that. He just wanted to do that so he could, like, say, oh, yeah, CP does this and that. Cut it.